In 1960, John Kennedy gave a speech while on the campaign trail in Houston, Texas. Leading up to the speech, Kennedy had faced prejudice because of his Catholic beliefs. There had never been a Catholic president before, so this speech was a seminal moment in his campaign and in history.
I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute, where no Catholic prelate would tell the president, should he be Catholic, how to act, and no Protestant minister would tell his parishioners for whom to vote, where no church or church school is granted any public funds or political preference, and where no man is denied public office merely because his religion differs from the president who might appoint him or the people who might elect him. I believe in an America that is officially neither Catholic, Protestant, nor Jewish, where no public official either requests or accepts instructions on public policy from the Pope, the National Council of Churches, or any other ecclesiastical source, where no religious body seeks to impose its will, directly or indirectly, upon the general populace or the public acts of its officials, and where religious liberty is so indivisible that an act against one church is treated as an act against all.
All presidents have been very comfortable with public expressions of religion. All presidents invoke God, for example, on public occasions. It's very, very, very common. JFK emphasized the separation of church and state for a particular political reason. He was a Catholic running in a country in which many Protestants were still suspicious. And so he was making the point that he would be president of the United States and he wouldn't be a religious figure, that he had to make the point that government and religion were different, that his religion was essentially private. It's a little bit the same position that Romney is in. Romney has to convince the American people. He doesn't do it through emphasizing the separation of church and state. He does it by talking about how Mormons are Christians. But he also wants people, since he's also a minority religious believer, he also wants the American people not to vote based on the tenets of his religion. He wants to keep his public persona separate from whatever the particular beliefs are of the Mormon Church.
The separation of church and state has been an issue since the Founding Fathers penned the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson once wrote in a letter that the First Amendment built a wall separating the two institutions. Jefferson was referring to the Establishment Clause. There has been no greater champion of it than former Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black, who was appointed by Franklin Roosevelt and served until the Nixon administration. Beginning with a case in 1947, Black wrote opinions that, among other things, forbade prayer in public school. Though many at the time thought him hostile to religion, he felt he was protecting the church as much as he was protecting the state. He explained his view on the Founding Fathers' reasoning in a 1968 CBS interview.
Well, I would explain it. That's what I said, and I hope it doesn't prove I'm a complete chauvinist. I think when those men met in Philadelphia, they had behind them knowledge of a long series of oppressions in Europe. They knew about people getting that tongue torn out, their ears clipped off, having to fight. I think he wanted to get away from that.
Pittsburgh itself is emblematic of the conflict between belief versus non-belief in American society. The landscape here showcases that a significant portion of the local population believe in God, but the community also has groups dedicated to secularism. There is one group that has occasional meetings called the Pittsburgh Secular Freethinkers. Some of its members are Democrats, some are Republicans, but what unites them is a view that religion has too great a role in shaping public policy.
Obviously, as an atheist, I feel there needs to be a strict separation of church and state. I feel that there is a certain segment of the American population who is trying to break down that barrier at any cost.
If there is no evidence, then that is not, again, like I said, that is not anything to base public policy on. So to vote for someone based on what their religious belief is totally crazy.
The protection given to churches is the same given to non-believers. The First Amendment demands that all forms of political and religious expression be permitted. The country has gone through both periods of piety and times of irreverence, but the Constitution has survived through it all. Its endurance is a testament to the character of a nation and its people. This is Cody McDivitt reporting for the Point Park News Service.